Hello everyone, today I'm doing the book dating history tag. I think a lot of people were kind of doing this recently. I wasn't tagged by anybody, but I did see Iron Reign of Books do this, and I thought the way he did it was so much fun that it finally inspired me to also go ahead and take care of this tag. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Question 1 is first loves. What book was your first love? And like most basic people, mine was Harry Potter. I just gotta say, the reason why this was my first love is definitely not the first book I remember reading, but it's the first book that really inspired me or got me interested in basically finding more books that I could kind of like escape to or really get my imagination flowing, and it just kind of really exploded from there. So yeah, it will always be my inspiration for reading, writing, and lots of other creative and imaginative things. Question 2 is outside your genre, and is what is your favorite genre and what do you normally like outside your genre? So I definitely primarily like YA fantasy. Besides just straight fantasy, I definitely like adult fantasy or like epic fantasy, as well as like contemporary. I usually can go with a really good contemporary, especially if it's like LGBTQ. And besides that, it's probably sci-fi. I do like a bit of sci-fi in there, but I found myself recently, especially since this year, I had so many sci-fi books planned and I still haven't really gotten to them that much. And the ones I have gotten to aren't like super highly rated. So I feel like that's kind of a hint about like how I sort of feel about them. Number 3 is Catfishing. What book catfished you? Was it good or bad? And I'm definitely very much a cover by reader. So unfortunately, most of the books that would be the answer to this prompt are definitely bad. The main one I'm thinking of most recently is the Gilded Ones. I waited for this book probably about 2 years because it did get pushed back. It has a beautiful cover, although the character on it doesn't really match who's in the book. And then the book itself I didn't really end up enjoying at all. And I rated it pretty low, unfortunately. So number 4 is, does size really matter? And now I'm considering, should I put an eggplant emoji in my thumbnail, or is that just kind of overdone at this point? And so it asks, what matters more to you, the length of a book or the ocean of emotion? I feel like emotion is always a really good thing, but I feel like I always instinctually am always thinking about how big books are, and I usually prefer them to be shorter. I actually wish that there was a lot of really great books I wanted to read that were shorter and not like super long series or anything like that. So I personally prefer shorter books, but it's not like I'd prefer them over having really great emotions. Number 5 is out of your league. Name the book that is way out of your league, but you went for it anyways. There's definitely a couple this year that I feel like could match that prompt. Like I've picked up some bigger like grimdark books that I didn't really think I was going to get into, but I decided to go with one I actually did like, and that is Way of Kings, or in general the Stormlight Archives. The reason why I wanted to pick this one is I distinctly remember when I first started getting into especially Sanderson or my booktube journey in general and reading again a couple of years ago. I remember hearing about Sanderson and didn't know I didn't know what order I was going to pick up his books. I know there's that order of like reading Elantris, then Mistborn, and then Stormlight or whatever, but I always thought there was no way I was ever going to read Stormlight because the books are so freaking massive, and I've never actually tried reading such big books before. And so yeah, clearly I eventually did end up reading these books, and I've loved them. I'm so glad I did. Number 6 is Kiss, Marry, Kill. Name 3 books that you kiss, marry, and kill. I decided to actually have my partner, Andrew, I told him to come in my book.
I am disgusted.
I had him actually pick out 3 books and randomly, and I would sort of just play Kiss, Marry, Kill, because I feel like that's how these games normally go. They have to be like random. So he picked The Dark Mage, An Ember in the Ashes, and The Sword of Kaigen. And, 2 of these 3 books I haven't actually read, so I don't know how great this list is, but I'm still going to pick and play along anyways. I decided to go ahead and marry Sword of Kaigen because she is thick with lots of emotion and great content, and a lot of people enjoy her, so I know that my partner is going to be the belle of the ball because everybody loves her, so I feel like it was a really good pick. I decided to go ahead and kiss The Dark Mage. I actually have not read this yet. It's basically about, I think, 2 mages, maybe 1 mage, and then they're kind of basically trying to stop this dark mage that's coming towards them or something like that. So it's pretty short, it's interesting, and I said I wanted to kiss it because I feel like kissing is kind of like a good introduction, and I do want to read this, and so I feel like that works out. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and decide to cut ties and pull the plug with An Ember in the Ashes. this actually worked out pretty well because this book is still on my shelf, and I've been really flip-flopping back and forth on whether or not I wanted to continue and finish the Ember and the Ashes series, because I was really torn on book 1, and I figure between the 3 of these, it fit pretty perfectly that I would just kill this one off. Number 7 is The X, You Just Can't Let Go. What book do you keep going back to? Again, I feel like a lot of these prompts, you kind of have to put your own spin onto it, or your own interpretation. For me, I was actually thinking maybe Twilight, because I really actually like the movies sometimes. I kind of enjoy parts of it and thinking about it, and I always think about maybe rereading the books and stuff like that. But I actually have a better answer for this, and that is actually The Lord of the Rings. And that is because I absolutely love the movies, but when I first read the books, I did not have a great time. I think in comparison, the movies did a lot of stuff better than how I prefer to consume and digest books. But it's Lord of the Rings, and I still have so much like clutter or like memorabilia, like merch for it, and I still think about how I want to reread this book in a different light. Maybe don't think about the book so much and really just enjoy these as they are. So I was like, that literally sounds like a relationship where like you let something go because you didn't really like it, but you still think like, oh, but I really like, am I missing something? Am I missing out on something? So yeah, I was just like, this is legit a real relationship I feel like people have. Number 8 is The Bad Boy / Girl. Name the book that is the bad boy or girl in your bookshelf. I don't really know what that means, but I decided to go with The Poppy War, mostly because I feel like they have a lot of edge to them. This is weird. How do you talk about books like they're people? The book has a lot of edge to it, and I'm definitely very interested, but I also know that like it's kind of crazy, and I don't agree with a lot of that it's doing, but I'm interested and intrigued and attracted to this book. So does that work for a prompt? Am I doing these prompts well? Let me know down below in the comments. Lastly is Friendzone. Name the book that you know will be a good read, but you're kind of into other books for now. There were definitely 2 books that were high on my list for this question. I decided to go with the Song of Achilles because I've had this on my TBR for years now, and I have no doubt that I'm going to love it because everybody loves it. And it's also an LGBTQ relationship, like the main character and his partner are gay. But I just won't read it, and I don't know why. So yeah, I just gotta get to it. I'm sorry, The Song of Achilles. I'm sorry for friend zoning you, okay? Lastly is number 10, Let's Get Nosy. Tag 3 or more people, let them spill the tea. That is their book dating history. So I decided to pick my 2 handsome Discord brethren, AndrewsWizardlyReads and Niko's Book Reviews. I'm sure Andrew might have already done this because Andrew does a lot of tags and stuff like that. So he may have already done this. So oops. But I don't think Niko has done this. And I don't think Niko does too many tags. So tag Niko, you're it. And of course I have to tag the beautiful Elsa over at TheFrenchBookDreamer. I think I've tagged her in like all 3 of these videos. So hope you're ready to post a lot of content. But Elsa, of course, natively speaks the language of love. She is French, obviously by her name, and I would love to see her answer to some of these questions. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I don't remember if I actually did my whole like, comment, and subscribe thing at the beginning. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you always know when I'm posting fun tags like this. And of course, comment down below any of your answers to these questions or anything you thought about as I was answering or trying to interpret these weird questions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye now. Mwah. That's embarrassing. I should cut that.